There's a very clear psychology for selling anything in any industry and in any economy. And it's not something that any of us really want to admit is true. But the way your consumer perceives your product or your brand or your company dictates whether or not they're going to buy from you or one of your competitors. Their decision is rarely determined by the price or any of the other excuses that your salespeople are giving you. Now, to illustrate this, there was a study done, I think it was back in 2006, where it showed people think that wine tastes better when it's served in a heavier bottle because the perception is that it's a more expensive bottle of wine. And it's also been shown in a study that people think that their car drives better, it drives smoother, it drives with less noise after it gets washed because they feel like it looks better, so their perception is that it drives better. And there's even a crazier study that shows that people feel like they get more relief from painkillers if they are buying a major brand instead of a generic brand, which might be absolutely identical to the major brand, but people perceive more value in the branded painkillers, so they believe that the pain goes away even faster. Now, we're building a new pet company right now, and we've spent months so far discussing the colors of the website and the label that we're going to put on the product and the fonts that we're going to be using and the design that we're using and the words that we're using and everything else, because we know that it's an amazing product. So amazing that I'm willing to put my brand behind it. But it doesn't make a difference how great the product is. If pet owners don't perceive value, then we're never going to reach the level that we're projecting. The success or failure of the salespeople on your team, or the success or failure of you when you're attempting to sell somebody either a product or a service or a company or just an idea, is determined by perception of value that you create. And to create a large enough perception of value in your product or your service, you first need to know everything about your target audience. And to do that, you can't assume you know these people. Each of the companies inside of my portfolio use something called a target demographic analysis, which we created, and it's simply a form that we use to get amazingly clear on every aspect of our prospects. You cannot believe that you know people until you actually fill something like this out and study everything. Because if you don't know what your customers' frustrations and pains are, and what their deepest needs are, and what kind of books they read, and what other kind of brands they buy from, and everything else, if you don't know that, you're shooting in the dark with all of your marketing. So you need to build a document in your company that gives you deep insight so that you know exactly how and when and where your customers are most likely looking for the products that you offer, so that you can be in front of them when they're ready to buy. And if you do that, it'll save you so much wasted time in your marketing. And once you fill that out, you give it to everybody. You give it to your website people to update your site. You give it to your copywriters to update your copy. You give it to your marketing agency to better target your ads. You give it to your salespeople so they know how to talk to your prospects. You give it to your customer support team so that they know how to better help your customers when they call. I mean, it's going to take you a few hours to create, but it's going to save you years of effort and make your life and the life of your team so much easier. And if you want to see the form that my team uses so that you could use it as a template to build your own, just comment the word yes and I'll send it to you. And if you're seeing this on something other than Instagram or YouTube, jump over there and comment yes on this video and I'll get it to you.